Hello, this is Ankit Alex Sansta, your 15 CS258, and I'm making this video for the second experiment of C Sharp Lab. Aim of this experiment is to get familiar with operator overloading, and for this, I'm making a program to handle the operations of matrix. So here's the code, and what it does is first of all, I have made a class named matrix, which defines the operation of a matrix. I mean, it defines the what is it? It's a class type which stores the matrix of course. So first of all, what I've done is I've taken two inputs of two matrices and I've stored it in a variable of type matrix that we just do. And later we will do operations in this using the operator overloading which we have defined in the matrix class. So let's get into the operator overloading part. So starting with we have uh, operator overloading, rather this is time conversion overloading. So we can overload our type conversion, that is explicit and implicit conversions, and define what will actually happen when we convert it into a particular type. For example, here we are trying to convert this matrix into an int. Okay, so that's what happens. Next, let's see operator overloading of plus sign. So we are operator overloading a plus sign, that how will you add two matrix objects. So for that I have defined a logic which uses arrays and arrays to add the columns of the matrices. And finally, it also defines the it also returns the resultant matrix. So the syntax of the operator overloading is, first of all, you will define the first matrices, then you give the return type of the operator. That is, whenever you infix two objects with a plus sign, what will that particular expression return? So here it will return a matrix result, which will be the sum of matrix 1 and matrix 2 objects. So that only logic, as you can see, I have implemented here. Similarly for minus, same public static matrix, it will return a matrix, that is the difference between the matrices, and of m1 and m2. Similarly, for next is conditional state, that is which returns a bool, or which compares. So in these statements, the thing is that you have to implement two cases, that is, first of all, the one for true case and one for not is equals to case. This applies for both greater than or less than, or greater than is equal to, less than is equals to. So here we will implement to is equals to, and as you can see, first then I have used the logic of comparing the each element of matrix 1 and matrix 2, and finally inferencing whether the matrices are equal or not. Similarly, this is the opposite case or contradicting case for the above implementation, which you turn v2 and false. Similarly, as you can see, for greater than and less than also, I have implemented two cases for comparing greater than and less than. Finally, after defining all this stuff, we have to finally call it, or rather implement it in the main function. So as you can see, first of all, I have taken two matrices. Then second of all, uh, I will make a new matrix to store the result. Okay. So first of all, I'm adding using the operator overload. If you delete the operator overload, here it will just show an error that the system can't explain what to do here, because it doesn't know that what should the addition of two matrix objects should be. But since we have defined it, it regularly adds both and finally displays it. Similarly for minus subtraction, here I have implicitly and explicitly converted my numbers, and finally I have compared two matrices using this virtual selection. So if I try to implement this, so first is So as you can see, it's an addition of all 1 is 2 and difference is 0 0 0 0, and it is converted into integer matrix 1 and finally the matrix is 0. So as you can see, all the functions that we implemented are working correctly. So thank you for watching.